What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Candid Cleaning Conversations.
How you doing?
Yes, and on this episode, I have another very special guest. Oh my gosh, we have been binge watching all of his YouTube videos. Okay, and I think he is amazing. All right, so we got Matt on the call. Everybody, give it up! Woo! And what's the name of your cleaning company?
Oh, the actual cleaning company?
Yeah,
it's called Asset Commercial Services.
Okay, Asset Commercial. See, I always wanted to ask you that because I didn't know what the name of your cleaning company was, but you do have a coaching community, and that is commercial cleaning CEOs, correct?
That's right.
All right. So yeah, tell us a little bit about like why. I always have to start off with why a person would even want to start doing this crazy industry that we are in right now. Like I know me in the cleaning industry.
Yeah.
1 minute we want to win clients, the next minute we want to give up, So what made you want to get started in this business?
Sure. Well, I actually just happened into it by accident. I was in a job I hated, working 80-hour weeks. So I was already used to working a lot, and was newly married, and I was like, this isn't the life for me. So I had a mentor who knew a guy who had a cleaning business, and they did like a mix of houses and commercial. He also did like maintenance and lawn care, and he hired me as his VP. I was getting paid $10 an hour to shadow him. It was something. And anyhow, he ended up shutting it down 3 months in. It was doing that bad. So he struggled too. Yeah, he struggled too.
And you were the employee.
Yeah, he brought me on and it failed. So basically, I don't know if I drug it down or what, but it stopped once I was there. Yeah. So anyhow, he said he would give his he was going to give some of his accounts to his neighbor, and I was like, well, I've worked for you. I'll buy the supplies and run with it. So I got one employee. I paid him $500. Got one employee and like a couple accounts, and that was how I got in. Actually, yeah. Now that was different though. So we ended up building it and selling it. So we did exit it. We didn't make a bunch of money on it or anything. I struggled. I got it to about $16,000 a month, and I was just having the hardest time growing that thing. It was so hard, and it was rough. So sold it then. Went off, did some real estate stuff, other business stuff, bought and sold a couple other businesses with my parents and family and stuff. Learned a lot, learned a whole lot. And then wound up in a corporate job again. I was like, I hate this again. And then we start this. I was like, I'm getting back into cleaning. I at least know what I shouldn't do. So
that is a lot, Matt, to unpack. Like you just told your whole life story within like 3 minutes, right?
I tried. You wanted the answer, so
yeah, man.
That's crazy. So let's unpack that. Like when you had your cleaning business, I heard you say that you had a mentor, and then you just got thrown a cleaning business like right in your hands. So with you having like no experience, even with you having a mentor, because sometimes when you get prepared for it, it's nothing like the training is nothing like what can actually happen. So what was that like for you? Like, because I know a lot of people in our community, they're struggling with just understanding the concepts of business. So how was that like for you?
So I actually, something to my benefit was I do have a business degree. So I had gone to college, and I came out with like a background of understanding of business. And my first job was to operate restaurants. So I'd manage employees, run P&Ls and profit and loss statements if people are wondering what that is, and seeing how operations should work. And this mentor, by the way, was not a cleaning mentor. He was just a business guy I knew, and he just knew this other guy who needed some help. So so anyhow, that still didn't help much whenever the business, I had the opportunity to ask for it, and I remember, what do you do about insurance? Where do you start there? And what do you do about a client that's already leaving, like so many questions. And and I remember walking into that business the first day, and I said, let me see your financial reports. and it was going down. I could tell that it was going down. He had like 70 grand in receivables outstanding, and it was like over a year old. And I was like, man, like, where's your money? So what am I even doing here? Yeah.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh.
it was a mess. Yeah, it was a mess. So I didn't inherit anything good. We'll put it that way. It was a mess.
Okay. What would you tell the people that is one of your toughest lessons that you have encountered since you were in the cleaning industry and growing your own cleaning business? Like, what was the biggest challenge for you?
Sure. And how about this first? Give me some context on that same question first before I think through mine a little bit. For you all, what's been one of your toughest lessons, or that you see your audience deals with that's tough for them?
Oh my gosh. I got
there's so many. Like, just starting out, what you were talking about, just tracking your numbers. Like, in the beginning, like, how did that affect you? Like, what was your lesson with that? Just being able to look at
not knowing how to price, not knowing how to keep the money that's coming in. And I don't know if you read Profit First, but I knew nothing about the Profit First book and the different accounts and stuff like that. So what I'm seeing now is a lot of people, they just have a business account and they have a personal account, and that's it. And they're pricing bad. So I'm looking at the old version of me like, oh man, this shit is gonna go downhill real soon, right? Because you already didn't price correctly. Now you didn't separate all of the money correctly. You're not paying Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is coming. He may not come on that first year. He might not come on that second year, and you may feel like you're making money, because this was me. I'm like, I'm balling, girl. What? And I was told by a tax preparer to pay my taxes at the end of the year. I would never tell anyone to do that. Now, going through what I went through, I will always tell people to do it quarterly. Just do it quarterly, okay? Because that will catch up with you. You don't want to get stuck with doing payments to the IRS and stuff like that. That all of this can be a huge snowball of debt for you, and it'll really make you want to back out of this thing quick. So my biggest thing would really be pricing correctly and how to make the money actually stick and grow in your account so you can be profitable. That's like the biggest challenge I see. And to speak to that very quickly, I forgot how long into starting up with this one. It basically was a startup, but I did have a couple accounts, right? I remember when tax season did come around, they asked if I had been paying my payroll liabilities. I was like, what are payroll liabilities? Oh, yeah.
I've been pricing my accounts off of just paying someone at that time like 11 an hour or 10 an hour, right where I was. I didn't know that it cost me $12 an hour to pay them $10 an hour, right? And so, out of nowhere, I had this big withdrawal from my account, and I was like, there went my profit. There went everything I was hoping for, And so my wife was like, why do we keep putting money into this thing? Yes, our top line was growing, but our bottom line was absolutely not happening. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult. So, and that did come around to why did we win some of the jobs so easily, right? Why did, I must be a really good salesperson. Everyone seems to say yes when I do get to talk to them. Well, no, it's because I was underpricing.
Right. Exactly. Like pricing, that's the first thing, man. You got to know how to price. And my problem was, which I'm seeing with a lot of people, is they just want to win the bid. So I was in a coaching session, I believe last night, where a young lady was like, yeah, I told him what she said. I told him 400, and then he talked me down to 300. And I'm like, if you don't know your numbers, you're going to be working for free. Right. And this is the part when you can be, it doesn't matter how much money you're making a year. You can be bringing in $1 million a year and be broke if you keep doing it like this.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen 7-figure commercial cleaning company owners who maybe take home 50 grand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, not for that level of work. Like, what are you doing? There's no way.
It's awful. It's awful if you don't know how to price. As soon as you learn your numbers, you'll be way more comfortable with telling them, okay, no deal. Have a nice day. Go find somebody else to clean it. I can't. It's no
I
deal.
will share this with y'all though, is so to really answer your question about what's been one of the hardest things, aside from figuring that out and the numbers,
Right.
hardest things, and it's still, I think it's the ultimate challenge in the industry, is the ability to establish internal accountability in staff.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
How do you systematically get people to want to do a good job when you're not there, when they're not being watched? How do you, but so that you're not having to also run around and check on people all night, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that in a way that doesn't take a full-time job? Because you didn't start this business to just be a babysitter, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that was actually
so
one of my questions I was going to ask you. How do you maintain your quality? And we do see a lot of students that come in and they're scared to let go because they don't trust. So they want to be there hovering over the account all the time, but you can't grow like that. You eventually have to walk away. You have to hire a quality control inspector. You got to hire managers, and you have to be a good leader so that you can teach them so that they can be good at what they're doing. Like I've experienced quality control people that suck. Like, what do you do when your quality control lady is lacking, right? Because she's like, yeah, Miss Johnson trusts me, so she's not gonna think I'm sitting in the car smoking a cigarette all day. She's going to think I'm out here checking these accounts, So we've experienced the quality lady, messing up. So what do you do in those situations?
Yeah, so let's talk about that, man. What is your process like? People are always talking about systems, but what is your process like?
Yeah,
sure. I think you can solve 80% of those issues with the training program. Because whenever I have owners come to me and that I've worked with, a lot of times their training program is lacking a lot. So, and actually I had someone reach out the other day. They were saying, hey, we are having inconsistent issues. People aren't following what they're doing. And he had like this 4-day training program where basically they're just throwing information at them. Right. And you're just like hoping that it all sticks. Right. Hopefully all the paint stays on the wall. But it's wet, right? It hasn't dried yet, and there's gaps and there's bubbles and all the mess, right? It's poopy. So what I recommend being cognizant of when it comes to a training program is to make them recall. So we know that whenever we teach, we learn more, right? And that's why it's fun being a coach, right? Like we just it becomes second nature of what we're supposed to do because we say it all the time. Right. And we try to figure out how to structure how we teach it. Well, we don't need to make our employees go that far with it, but we do need to force them to repeat back to us what they're supposed to do and not just take their first word on it. So like in our training program, our first day, we have a document we talk through that goes through a lot of like the weird things that happen out there. But then we have them say back exactly what we just did. And then I'll ask them why it's we have exercises we do. So we're like, hey, we're gonna do this exercise for what I call edges and ledges, right? So aware. We know that you got the middle of the floor, right? Like we don't need to train on how to mop. Honestly, like we can skip that. You know how to mop. I had one person use toilet bowl cleaner to mop though one time. That was silly. So we'll tell them like just use the chemical you're supposed to use. But for training on edges and ledges, for example, we will like do a scavenger hunt. So we'll actually take quarters and we will hide them in different areas in a building, and they have to go find them all. And it forces them to think through how an inspector thinks and how a client thinks, and not just like, oh, I know that I'm supposed to go do edges and ledges on a checklist, but you force them to go through it. It forces that recall to happen. They're emotionally tied to that experience because it's stressful. They don't want to not find them all. So there's things like that you can do, and it doesn't take long, right? But you want to avoid just throwing information at people. You want them to it's a two-way street. Get that flow going during the training process.
Absolutely.
Right.
I love that, man. Like, and edges and ledges. I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I love
How
that.
long is that program? Is it like a 2-week
A
training?
week or 7
Ours, yeah, our training program inside of our company is about 2 weeks. But it's not, every day is not regimented. It's really the first day that's regimented. The next day they're introduced to their crew in their buildings. We actually film each of our buildings and make them watch the trainings of the film of the buildings before they go in, because there's it's actually biological. The hypothalamus, which is below your brain. You ever driven somewhere the first time and it like felt like it took forever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and when you drive back, it's like it's so much faster.
Boom. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your hypothalamus. And so what it does is it registers for threats. It's like, I'm in a new space. What do I need to look out for? And then you're like exhausted because your brain has been in overload. Well, that's your employees. So you can throw all you want at them on that first day, but they're going to get overloaded. So the best thing to do is to just drip things to them, introduce the core things to them at a time, and get a little bit deeper into the pool as you go. So that's the purpose of 2 weeks, is like the first day, edges and ledges, core stuff, right? Awesome.
Right.
We're going to leave it there. We can talk about how you ask for time off like next week, right? So just drip things out a little bit at a time. And that's really what the purpose of that 2 week spread out is. It's not 8 hours in an office, you know, thing. It's, hey, you're going to now do this task this day. And then the next you're going to focus on this task. And
So
then
do you have,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
do you have employees or do you have contractors?
employees,
Employees.
we've used a few contractors, but mostly for work we don't want to do or for really far off stuff. But
Okay.
internally, employees mostly, yeah.
Okay. And how did you determine what you were going to pay them per hour? Like, how did that come into play with the market, their experience and stuff like that? Because I know that is one of the questions that we have in our community. Well, how do you come up with the pricing? What do you know to price them so I don't break my pockets? You know, how do you budget that?
Well, and that's so important too, because that's what your big cost, right? Like that's what makes you unprofitable.
Exactly.
if the labor's off, right? So I anchor my price off of my starting wages. Like that's how, if someone asks me, what do I charge in my market? I say, let's find your wage that you're going to be paying in your market. That's where I start.
Right.
So I really like to start at about 10%-ish or so, or $1 per hour above the average starting wage I'm seeing. So if I go to Indeed, you can pull reports like on PayScale and stuff, but those are always really low.
They are.
Yeah. Like you can
12, 13.
Yeah.
So really, I just look at Indeed and I'm just like, for a specific role, I look for part-time office cleaning because that's mostly what we're doing. If you look for full-time custodian with benefits, like good luck matching that one, right?
Right.
You know, so I look for the specific job position of office cleaner that's mostly part-time. And so like in Asheville, it's around 15 or 16. So we're going to start around that $15, $16, $17 per hour mark. And from there, you know, we'll just see how the labor pool is doing, right? If we need to up it a little bit or lower it a little bit.
Okay. So how do you go about, you're mainly commercial, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I don't mess with
commercial, no residential.
Yeah.
So how are you going about finding your commercial clients? Like if you had to tell us like the number one way your company finds commercial clients, what would it be?
Sure. And so I deal with a lot of residential owners who are trying to get more commercial or just all out converting to commercial.
Yes.
And the first thing that I tell them, and probably for your audience, is if they're wanting to, whether they want to convert or they just want to get more commercial, they cannot give a hint that they do any residential at any point.
That's huge.
And that's what's hard for them to accept. I'm like, you need a new website. You need a business profile. You need, like, now it's okay for a residential to say we do offices. That's fine. That's not a problem. But whenever you're going in for a $200,000 contract, they don't want to have a hint that you mess with.
Yeah, they don't want to see a deep clean on a couch,
Right. Are you
a maid,
to actually
you
do
know,
this
in a
job,
maid uniform and cleaning up the bathroom in the house and stuff.
Yeah.
And the stoves. They don't want to see it.
Exactly.
They're looking for, and it makes a lot of sense that you say that because the top earners, they use their website is usually just strictly commercial.
You don't
Like,
see
I mean, the pictures and stuff like that. And even if they do residential, it's not really showing pictures. Like, just it's more 80% commercial pictures that you see on the website.
Correct.
You know. So yeah, I definitely agree with you with that.
I hope y'all are paying attention, like for real. Like I know we are having a conversation, but guys, like I hope that you are paying attention because that is very lucrative to understand. You know how Miss Johnson always states to, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. So you want to make sure that you understand who your target audience is and select that person and master that first. Now, Matt, let me tell you, okay. You said a whole lot in the beginning of this video, right? So I just want to go back to now. You were talking about real estate. So I'm curious. Then you were talking about 16,000. That's what you were getting a month. So dude, like, what does your day look like? Like, what is your day to day? Because in this business, like just entrepreneurship, it's very important to know how to delegate. A lot of people do not know how to delegate. So what is your day-to-day to look like for other people to understand how that even works? Because people don't know how to multitask, but obviously you do.
Well, I don't ever feel like I do. You know, I'll tell you more about my day, but I remember someone I heard, not a personal mentor, I can't remember where, but they said, if you want to find more time in your day, add something and you'll find the time. It just keep adding and you will learn to delegate through pain and suffering. You'll get it done. So it wasn't the way that I wanted to learn, but it's kind of what happened. So I always feel behind, even though things are going well, like just stepping back and looking at it. So my day today, so we franchised our company here in Asheville. So we have, I think at this point, 15. We're about to add a few more locations to our brand. So that's the bulk of my time is helping those owners and building that national brand, because that's the big play in the long term, right? We're going for billions, you know, millions are like, people can get to millions. We're trying to aim for the big one. We'll see. I might be dead by that time.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
We'll see. But then the YouTube channel, doing videos for that, doing the coaching with that. Obviously, we have our Gentle Millionaire program. So we do that. That probably, I spend about 10 hours a week or so with that. And then my local business, about 5 hours a week. It doesn't take much to manage. Now, that's not to say, like, I still get emails sometimes. And I actually set up a meeting with a client where just some things went a little off the wall where it shouldn't have. So I'm going to go in and talk with them, you know, like things still come up. Right. Just joined the Chamber of Commerce here. We'll send our sales guy to it. So I still stay involved and oversee it. But as far as like a main drive, I don't spend much time on it. So that's my week is just kind of all over the place a little bit between the franchise and YouTube and the local.
Yes. So
welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yes. Like the work never stops. Like the work never stops because it's always something for you to do. Especially and the people in the community, they act like it's an issue when there's a problem. I try to tell them, no, problems are actually good because now you can develop different types of systems that can help you to actually overcome that and you don't run into it again. But I also wanted to know from you, because you talk about systems a lot too. Like, how were you able to systemize your cleaning business just from the coach that you got, like the mentor who had no education on a cleaning business? And I know you had the background, but how did you even understand like the industry, just cleaning?
Sure. So Warren Buffett said everyone should work for a bad business at some point or have a bad boss, right?
Yes.
That was a bad boss, but he was a nice guy, but he was a bad boss, bad business. So I got to see what was broken.
Yeah.
Then I got my first attempt at trying to fix it. And it was kind of like duct taped.
Oh my goodness.
I remember the day that we sold it. I suddenly had all these ideas. It was just weird. Like suddenly being out of it, right? It wasn't on my shoulders anymore. Suddenly I could just look at it from the fence and be like, oh, now I see, you know, that weird color there of that cow, you know, or like how that thing looks over there. I should have done this instead. Like this retrospect just hit me out of nowhere. It was a really weird moment. But for finding out those systems, a lot came from having that space, because it was like 5 years or so between that and then starting Asset.
Right.
And we also, me and my parents, they saw that. I mean, it went well enough to where they were like, all right, well, we want to buy a business. So that we bought an existing company that actually wasn't struggling, and it was a small local window cleaning business, and it was a franchise. So I got to see, okay, these are franchise systems. This is how their processes work. I came out of a really optimized situation from corporate beforehand, so I put those together, figured out what didn't work from there. So it was just like, I heard someone describe it. It's like building a bridge. So like the bridge does not work until you have the whole thing. Like you can't just get 98% of a bridge and just call it like good enough, right? You have to make that last connection. And so all these little bricks along the way are like, you feel the bridge being built, like the knowledge that you need to make that connection and then just make it work. But one day it does click, but it is really hard until you get that final brick there with all the skills and knowledge that you need. So that's just kind of what happened over those years through a few different businesses and jobs that I had, was the bricks eventually clicked.
I love it. I love the great analogy. I love the bridge analogy. All right. So our next question, gotta ask, because a lot of people are going to be on my back if I don't ask it. Right. So name 5 tools that your cleaning business can't live without. Just 5 tools. I'll go first if you want me to. What about tools?
Go for it. I'm curious.
I love Slack, communication. I love Go High Level. CRM,
Connect Team.
Connect Team. I love Connect Team. What is another
Convert
one?
Labs.
Convert Labs. I love Convert Labs.
What's Convert Labs? What isn't it like a high level, or what's the difference between it and?
Well, Convert Labs, we use it for the booking form. It has a booking form.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and they can just go on the booking form and they can just book, and so it's kind of like a booking koala. Something like that.
Got it. Okay.
I think it's a little bit more simpler than Booking Koala, but we use that definitely. And Scribe. I don't know if you ever heard of Scribe or not, but we use that to put together our SOPs. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
we let's see. So for us, we use what's it called? I'm blanking. Clean Smarts.
Right.
Yep. So we use that for because it's janitorial specific, just for that industry. It does not share well with residential. So
I know, yeah.
I'm like, all right, like you got to go all in commercial if you're going to be doing it. But it's really good. Love it. It's been a game changer for us. We actually released our own Go High Level. I built in all of our systems and automations and stuff, and it's called JanGrow. But it's only accessed through the Janitorial Millionaire Blueprint. So that's only for those students. So that's what we use.
So is Clean Smart and Jan, are they 2 different things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 2 different. I don't have any affiliation with Clean Smarts. I mean, I know the owners, but it's just a separate software. You ever heard of Swept?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Swept. We
like
used to be on Swept, and we just switched to Clean Smarts. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Clean Smarts is operational. JanGrow is growth, right? Systems, automation, staffing, leads, and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm a huge fan of Zoom Info. It's very expensive. I love Zoom Info. I did a video on how we got $500,000 in contracts, quotes in a single month, and that was all from like Zoom Info emails.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've heard of Zoom Info from your video.
Yeah.
I'm like, think about trying them out. I was
you can negotiate with them. They won't tell you that, but you can negotiate.
Oh, really? Because they hit you with a price.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I bet they did.
All right.
They try to get you up there. Yeah.
They get you up there first. And then they did send an email saying they could negotiate, but I didn't, do the call. I might need to hit them back up. Yeah. We need to negotiate.
Info.
We need to negotiate.
Yeah, that's your call. Zoom Info. We do all of our SOPs in Google Drive. So it's free, and we just do a whole permissions thing in there, and just on the basic Google plan. And maybe I need to learn Scribe. I don't know, but a lot of my stuff in our company is just in a Google Drive.
I mean, hey, whatever works for you, like that you can store. We actually store our SOPs in Confluence. I don't know if you ever heard of Confluence, but that's free too. Yeah. So I store everything there. And what we use Scribe for is like let's say we want to screenshot stuff. Like if I'm training my VA on how to do a thing, like how to set a email or whatever, it's going to screenshot everything that I do. Right. So everything I'm doing on my computer is just, and then at the end, it puts together the SOP for it. So when he sees it, he knows click here, then click here, then click there. You know what I mean? So that's basically what it does.
That's awesome. I use Loom a lot. So Loom is
Loom is good too. Loom is good too. Yeah, I love Loom. Yeah.
I won't count that towards my 5 though. We do use Microsoft Teams instead of Slack. Honestly, Teams has been a little bit more difficult lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm on Safari. Let's see. We did a Google Drive, Clean Smarts. I'm thinking through what it was. It's not Instantly. Instantly is great. Love it as well. I'm stuck on Confluence in my head now. If I think of that other system, I'll just shout it out randomly as we keep on talking. But I know there was one more that I wanted to mention. It's no groundbreaking thing, but we use it a lot.
What do you use for your phone? Ring Central.
Oh yes, Ring Central. Love it. Yes.
We can't live without a business line. You know.
I love that I can do it from my computer too, right? Like it's just across the board. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me see what time we are in. Oh, we still got a little bit of time on our hands.
Yeah, we're still good. Let's we're good.
Next question.
Yeah, I'm good for however long. Y'all are fine.
Okay.
we got a little bit of more time on our hand. So what would you say your non-negotiables are?
Like in life or in business?
In business.
Non-negotiables. So give me an example of one of yours.
So one of mine is no call, no show, no job. Nope. That's just one of them, that I just can't. Certain things we have a no tolerance level for disrespect. And that goes for not only my employees, not only for my independent contractors, but for my virtual assistants as well. And what I've seen happen within the last couple of years is the contractors or the employees would tend to be a little disrespectful to the virtual assistants because they're overseas. Wow. And I've had the virtual assistants, write me letters saying, your people are racist, man. Like they're talking to me all kind of ways, like I'm a human here, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that is one of my non-negotiables. If you're going to respect everybody like you respect me and Tamika, like the same way, the same energy you give us, you give that to everybody on the team.
Right.
That's a non-negotiable.
Right. A non-negotiable, definitely no call, no show, no job. Mm-hmm. It's very straightforward, and they've always got an excuse.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yes,
they get creative.
Yeah, man, they will.
Yeah, even like with interviews, right? If someone's late for an interview, no matter what the reason, usually we're not going to work with them on that. If they can't complete like a basic thing even before they're hired, it's coming whenever they are hired. We definitely keep a lookout for any sort of drama that might be happening on the team. We're very quick to act on that instead of to try to see how it works out, because our people and left to their own devices, it'll just keep unwinding, right? So we're very quick to either like just break it up. Like we had one situation where it actually worked out where the girl was like, just move me to a different place, right? And so we moved her, and then we found out later on that it was someone else who was really the drama. But we thought it was her for the longest time. But she did great when she moved.
Really?
Yeah. So
do employees work together, or are they? Oh, yeah. So I don't really like when they work together over here in our world. I like when they're separate.
Where are you guys at?
Well, right now we're in Atlanta, Georgia, but we were in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, we just recently, our cleaning business is in Savannah, Georgia, but we just moved to Atlanta. Gotcha. And we mainly have contractors anyway. So everybody has the boss hat on. Right?
So do you ever like plant? I'm sorry, because I know you weren't finished with answering the question, but I'm just kind of curious. You know how you plant those quarters, right? Do you plant people inside the business just to kind of like filter out and see what's like going on? Do you ever do that?
So we have something that we do every day called crew calls. So it's where the employees, it's like the office meeting, right? It's like we're not able to walk into my office or their office and say, hey, let's talk about the coffee cooler, whatever, right? Coffee.
Yeah.
So what we do is the lead or the key player just calls the manager, area manager, or whoever's in charge that night, and they just do a real quick, like, hey, you need anything from us, or how are things going? By the way, client XYZ said this. What's our plan to deal with that? So it's just a really quick sync, right? Let's all get on the same page. We can usually detect if there's anything that we need to deal with from that. But just by them knowing there's some sort of like daily line of connection to management, and they're not isolated, it really helps them feel better about their job. And they don't feel isolated, so they behave a lot better that way. And we're able to foster more of a team environment. So teams are, if you can get a team environment going, it's unstoppable. But if you struggle with dealing with people, then it can backfire. So that's why you gotta be careful with it. Yeah.
Now, have you ever experienced any of your employees starting a cleaning business and trying to steal your clients?
We had a couple that we think did, but they were trying to do it. They weren't successful.
I'm just curious because it happens heavy in our world because we do business with a lot of independent contractors. So it's heavy over here. So I was just curious how it was in your world with employees, because employees will do the same thing. All they got to do, they can watch YouTube, they can figure it out, they can get an LLC, they can quit, and they can start their own thing. And it's like they're always in front of the customer. Like they're really building that relationship with the customer. Like, I had a situation where I sent my daughter to do an account, and she called me and she was like, Mom, she's trying to steal me from you. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
She signed the contract. Like the contract states no soliciting our workers. Okay. She signed the contract and everything. And she said, I won't tell Ms. Johnson, but how much will you charge me?
Yeah.
She didn't know that was my daughter. Right. Yeah. So make a long story short, I told my daughter, go ahead and take the client. Like that's my child. I don't mind her making the money or whatever, but it just raised the eyebrow. Like this is what's going on when we don't know about it. When we lose these clients and we lose ICs at the same time, they're both marrying each other and having a good, life without us, So this is just something that I've grown throughout the years to eat and have tough skin with, because I'm not going to take people to court for, $350. Like, you know what I mean?
How many contracts do y'all, because I think it is still different though, as the employees, like they were really weird situations and we haven't really seen it happen. I had a client take it from us. It was weird. He was a property manager. We were cleaning for him and he decided to start his own cleaning business and just take that building for himself. Yeah, double dipping. Yeah, it was weird. So that's what happened. Yeah. But like how many, like for your audience, like how many of them deal with this, like where people are taking, their contractors are taking their accounts?
It happens a lot in our world. I think for our audience, I don't know, I think it happens a lot for the IC world. I don't know if it happens as much for the employees though.
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah. But I'm just curious. I think if I had to give a great answer, I would really think that you're not safe either way. Because people are people, whether they sign contracts or not. People, you really can't control what a human does nowadays. So it's bound to happen. You just got to have dinosaur skin, and you either gonna, if it's worth it, sue them and take them to court if they sign the agreement. And if it's not worth it, just wash your hands with that person and keep it moving.
Yeah, it's like I got so much I want to talk to you about, man. But I know we got to respect your time. Right? But it's like I got like 12 questions.
Go for it.
Because we watch your videos and it's like it's a difference just talking to the TV and talking to the computer screen than actually just talking to you right now. So one question that I do have is like, what about your company culture? Like, what do you do to keep your workers like engaged and happy to come to work and
Sure.
get incentives? Like, how do you do that, with your company?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we all know first impressions matter, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard to change after a first impression. We have a very strong first impression on the applicant system and funnel and the whole process there. So it starts people off with a lot of energy, which is important. And then whenever they do get out into the job field, that energy is matched by the existing team. So then it's easy like to keep it going that way. Cause so then the big thing too is like with crew calls, right? Which isn't the only thing that we do to keep it going. But for example, something that kills energy is whenever the only time that say, this is actually something one of my favorite employees long ago said, this is why we started this. She said, Matt, I love working for you, but I hate it when you call me. And it upset me so much. I was like, Bianca, like, why?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, we had a couple people like that.
Yeah, why did she say that? Like, I'm curious to know the ending of the story. Like, why did she say that?
She said, I hate when your name pops up on my phone because it means there's a problem. And I just dread it. I dread knowing what I'm going to hear. I dread knowing what I'm going to find out. Because that's the only time I talked to them was whenever there were problems or I needed something or something, whatever. So that's why the crew call thing I started. I was like, well, I'm going to have you all call me. That way we're reversing it. You're going to own like the communication channel. So it gives them a sense and a control over that. Then they're just not at the whim of whenever I call. And then we have a two-way conversation about, and if there's nothing to talk about, it's like, love you guys. Awesome. See y'all. We'll talk tomorrow. Don't forget about, we're doing something at the office on this day. So, which brings up, we will celebrate new starts. So we'll bring them dessert, their favorite dessert, and their whole team gets a piece, all of that. Right. There was one person, we like to buy like 3 pieces, of whatever it is, if it's a team of 3, but there was one person who we could only get the whole tiramisu cake. It was huge. It was like $50. And I was like, well, we're doing it because we're dedicated to this. So they got a whole tiramisu cake. They were fattened up for the shift, and it was a good night. They had a good time. But so we'll invest in them that way whenever they help new people start and they pass their launch cleaning, like it's just like their test, right? And then we also do, the crew calls. We'll also just bring food by, like if it's been a little bit. Usually once a month, we'll bring like pizza or something just to the team if they haven't launched anyone new recently, just to keep connected. And sometimes we'll do company parties. We used to do them once a month, and we would celebrate like the birthdays that month. We would have like a raffle drawing. They get 6 tickets. There's 3 prizes. They could go all in on one or spread them out evenly or do stuff like that. And my wife would make cakes and stuff. We moved offices, so we got to start that back up. We've been lazy since we moved.
Same here. I'm not gonna lie. Like since we moved out of our office, we're in our home office now, and it has been
different.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: we haven't done those parties in a long time, but the energy has stayed really good with the onboarding, treating them well when they start.
Good. That's how you know you got strong systems, though. See.
Yes,
you're good. Everything, the momentum is still good on the team. So hey, you're good. It made me a little laid back.
It's hard if you got to turn the ship. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna just keep them coming because I'm liking what I'm hearing. All right. Okay. So when it comes to the client experience, I know a lot of people get caught up in the client experience as far as creating packages because they want to please everybody. So when you had your cleaning company, what was one thing that you noticed that you can do to kind of like service everybody or to just particularly service commercial? Like how did you do that to bring them in?
Like how I package the service?
Yeah, like how did you pack, like to be able to, if you were cold calling or if you were going door to door or if you had people out there, like how did you package your service for people to see the value in it, for them to like want to come, to become a client?
Sure. I niched to medical when I was starting out. And niching enables you to do things you can't do when you're doing general marketing. So one of those things is sometimes I kind of let it out there that I talk about productizing. I think I've only mentioned it in 2 videos, but that's where if I'm targeting medical, we did something called the Meg Clean method. So I was like, hey, we do this MedClean method. We install it into your facility, right? It sounds like I pull it off the shelf and put it in, right? And so when we install the MedClean method or the EduClean program, or insert niche and creative name, then it carries with it a whole new set of understanding and desire, right? As opposed to we're a cleaning service and we clean medical. Right. It's like, well, what's the difference? Right. Well, I can literally do the same thing and just put a title on the package and they're going to feel completely different about it. And
it's funny he said that because we lost the contract. And every time we lose is, hey, I'm going to ask the big question.
Like, why?
Why, right? Yep. Like, okay, so was it our cleaning? Oh, no, it wasn't your cleaning. It wasn't your cleaning. It wasn't your cleaning. They said that the other person, when they came in, they said that they were going to install some soap dispensers, and they was going to do some fancy stuff that I wasn't doing. So it's funny that you said that because it made me go back to what he said. That's a good selling technique.
The convenience. Then they're going to supply the supplies and stuff like that. Yeah. They don't have to do it. Like the company doesn't have to supply anything.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I love that.
So that's what differentiates you from the competition in your city. What would you say that's a good one.
Sure. Sure. Our responsiveness. We have a lot of hardcore competitors out here. I don't think people realize that. There are franchises who have tried to launch out here and they've failed. So I've told everyone, if I can do it in Asheville with a bunch of hippies, then I can do it anywhere. And this city is tiny,
right?
100,000 people. I'm like, if you can reach 7 figures anywhere, if I could do it in Asheville.
Wow.
Wow. The thing that sets us apart is that response speed. So, and we get that compliment a lot. So they'll send an email in with maybe this toilet didn't look good, or or we're having a question about this part of service, and we're on it within minutes. Like they're getting some sort of response. And I think the trick to that is you don't have to give them the answer right away. You just acknowledge receipt. So you can just train AI. That's what we're working on right now, is to train AI on it and all of our history and stuff, right? And so it's literally like, got it, looking into this right now. I'll let you know what I find out ASAP. Like, cool. Right. They're just like, awesome. Y'all are so fast, right? And then, of course, we do resolve it as soon as we can and get back with them. But a lot of clients or a lot of prospects I've walked through with, they're like, yeah, we'll call them and we don't hear anything for like a week. Like we don't know if they got our message or not, or the complaint is still there, or even if they did solve it, they didn't say they were going to solve it. So I don't know what to expect, right? So the responsiveness is a huge thing.
I love that. See? I love
responsiveness. That's a huge cue. That's a gem, because I've called some cleaning business owners in this city and nobody answers the phone.
Yeah.
Like nobody's picking up. And I'm like, what is going on? You guys have businesses. I've called painters. I've called people that do carpets. Nobody's picking up. Absolutely none. So be the first to pick up, respond on time. So what would you say that is making your employees stick with you? So we know what's making your clients stick. What is making your employees stay with the company?
Sure. One of our core values is people first. And I think in one of your questions you had asked, about faith and things that lead the way in our company. And that's one of those is, I'm a Christian. I believe people are made in the image of God. Right. And so the more that we can improve the lives of people, the more value that there's just going to be, whether it's clients or employees or whatever. It just comes whenever you focus on loving people. And one of the things that we say in our interview process is we just head this straight on. We know it's a high turnover industry, no matter how good your culture is. So we embrace it. We just come out and say, hey, we just want to be a positive part of your journey. Like we get it. Like this is probably not a forever career for you. If you're here to save up to go on a vacation or pay off debt or retire young or whatever it is, which has happened, we've helped people meet those goals. We're here to help you do that. And so once you call that out at the beginning and they get like, okay, I can use this job to achieve a specific purpose, then even though they're not here forever, they're purposeful while they're here. Right.
Exactly.
That helps the culture a lot, because then it's not like, why am I going in here every night at 9? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of
gosh.
ours would be the same thing that you said. But one of our like selling techniques whenever we're doing interviews with our contractors that want to partner with us is the fact that, you know, if you're an IC and you don't have no clients, you're struggling, you could come into Tenacity Academy and we'll teach you how to start growing, scale your business. And once they start, you know, learning that we will do that for them, it's like one of the reasons that keeps them sticking. Because it's like, I hated being an employee. I dread it. I still hate it, right? Because I never could keep my head above water, you know, the rat race and all that. And I can't help it. I have big dreams and high expectations, and the job just would never get me there. It didn't matter how many jobs I got. I worked 3 jobs. I was making $600 a week. I remember it like it was yesterday. And that just wasn't going to work for me. So I deal with a lot of ICs, and we motivate them and we teach them about growing their own business. So that's one of our selling techniques. Do you allow your employees to join your program? Could they join your program?
I've had no employee ask to join our program. I have thought about making a specific program because a lot of my employees are people, because I don't work with ICs, right? A lot of my employees, they might make $70,000 a year in an office, and they just, Asheville's expensive. They just want to pay the house off faster, take their kids out on date nights, you know, things like that, right? So we don't have anyone who really wants to start their own cleaning business. But what I have thought of putting together is like some career kind of stuff where it's like, hey, these are the skills you should learn if you do want to get promoted here, but also in any job that you're at. Here's how to ask for raises. Here's how to invest, you know, I mean, I talk to some employees about what stocks I'm investing in, you know, things like that. So
things like that, that's good. Stocks or credit, you know, helping them out, building their credit. And we've even been thinking about implementing mental health counseling because my brother happens to be a mental health counselor. So that helps out.
One of our benefits is we have a chaplain who's on staff. So he would go around and hit up all the employees just once a month, check in with them, and he still stays in touch. He hasn't been around in a while. We need to bring him back in, but he still stays in touch with a lot of them for life, right? So a really, really cool thing with that, because they act as a counselor, but also a spiritual guide. And they're there for, he did a few funerals for family members that some of the employees lost, you know, so it's a really unique benefit having something like that, kind of like what you were saying, you know, a counselor. So a chaplain's another good one.
Yeah. See, this is good. This is why I like to have these conversations.
Look, as you guys are talking and he's saying that, I'm like, question. Like, there's so many things that come up, because I love the fact that you touched on faith. Everything that you do is with faith, because that's what we're all about. We're always talking about just people's mindset, like our students, clients, just their mindset. So my question to you is, how are you able, because you went away from the cleaning business, but you're coming back now. But how are you able to combine your faith-driven base with just your students that come in? Because a lot of them are really just trapped, and it's like they're self-sabotaging. So how are you able to kind of get them to kind of like change their identity, because it is an identity shift before they can actually move on to the next level?
Sure. And I mean, there's only so much you can do as a coach, right?
Yeah.
So many things. It is kind of like, you know, a big brother kind of thing, or big sister, where eventually one day they do just get it. I think the important thing is to be as honest as you can, without being rude. And that's kind of the careful walk that you gotta do sometimes. The big thing that I harp on with that is trying to break down because they're looking at this huge wall, right? Like, so like in something like $1 million blueprint, like that's a big thing to look at, right? So what you want to do is meet them where they're at and just say, just take this step, like just do this one thing. And so that's really what I focus on is, here is the action step for you.
Yep.
Now, the big thing with that is I talk about volume and velocity. So volume of action and velocity of action. So volume is you just got to do enough of the stuff, right? But you can't forget about velocity. You got to do enough of the stuff fast enough, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that it's, I call it violence, which is kind of like a really like bad way to do it. But I about went in the military, went through some training stuff for the officer side, and I was told that my violence of action needed to improve. And I was like, what on earth? But I remember that, and I've carried that lesson into business with you just got to absolutely attack the problem. You got to overkill whatever you're facing, because if you don't overkill it, if you just try to do what you think it's going to take, then you're either going to do it, maybe, or you're not. But if you overkill it, you're going to go beyond it, or you're going to meet it. Right.
Yep.
The hard thing with students, they just don't know what it takes sometimes.
Ooh.
That's good. That was really good. And it's like, you know, most employees, you believe it or not, that they work for cleaning companies, and these cleaning companies don't go above and beyond
They don't
to even think about some of the stuff that we just talked about.
Yeah.
And that's really what I feel like company culture is all about, and what makes people stick to companies.
Yeah.
You know, what's going to make them stay with one person that's paying $17 an hour and another person that's at $18 an hour. You know, exactly. What's going to keep them sticking with you? You know what I mean? So they don't leave you for somebody else that's paying $1 more. And he just said it, you know, he implements all these things. They might leave for $1 more and get treated like crap.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard the horror stories where people, you know, they don't even care. They just like, go out there and clean.
Well, something that I do like to say is that the more you have to pay, that's just an indicator of how weak your systems are.
Yeah.
If you're using money to overcome problems, then your systems aren't good.
Oh, I think you need to say that again.
Now that was a bar.
I wish I had that thing like.
Oh no. Well,
you gotta set a clip.
So yeah, the crux of it too. The other way to think about it is the better your systems are, the least you need to pay people to stay. Right, the better your culture and systems. I call it wage arbitrage. If you can have a $15 per hour person do $30 per hour work, I mean, that gap of value is huge, right? So however much you can keep increasing that gap, ideally, we still want to pay our people well, right? We don't just want to push anyone to But loyalty wise, if they're loyal to the dollar, well, then good luck running your business.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You just touched on something that I read in the E-Myth. Like, it is so important that you really know your people and just know yourself. What type of entrepreneur are you? And that is something that coaches do. But I'm not gonna let you get away from this, because this is actually good. But I'm not gonna let you get away from it. Lord. What made you sell your business? Like, how did you do that? Like, what made you do that?
Going back, that was 2016, 2017. Can't remember what year, but so it first off was not very profitable. And my wife and I had just had our first, and I think she wanted to do some travel nursing.
Yeah.
So something that did help was she made good money as a nurse.
Yeah.
Having that stable income was important. So I just started thinking, I saw my parents, they had bought that window cleaning company. I kind of did that with them. And I was like, well, I mean, I saw how much money those guys made when we bought it from them. So I'm kind of over mine. I'm kind of just done with this. And I couldn't see myself doing it at least the way that was going. I just wanted out. So it was a combination of things. So I put it on Biz Buy Sell, and somebody came around and bought it. I got a bunch of people asking about it, and I didn't sell it for much. It was less than 100,000. So I'll put it that way. But they paid cash, and that was a cool day to put that check in the account. Most money I'd ever made at that point, and in a day. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. So walking away from the cleaning industry, a lot of people know they have this thought of, when do I call it the quits? Because people do try to make it work. But when you see it's not profitable and you're in the hole more than you're moving forward, that's when to kind of like let things go. But you're coming back in the cleaning industry, right? You're coming back in that space. So what motivated you after being, having that letdown? Like, what motivated you to come actually back and give you that drive? Like, what did that?
Sure. And I think a part of it was I felt defeated by it previously. It was kind of like, but I was also familiar with it, right? So, and you talked about the mindset piece, like especially with students. My mindset was toxic towards it before, and I knew it, and I was like, I just got to get out. And sometimes that's what you got to do. It's not that you totally like shut the door and quit, but you got to find some way to get space. And that's what happened to me. I got the space, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have all these ideas now.
Right.
And so when years later, I was in insurance. I was training in State Farm to be an insurance agent with them and be the boss man, right? And I hated it. I had a bad boss in there too. Another bad boss. I just have a knack for finding them. Maybe I'm the bad boss. I don't know. But anyhow, I just one day, the job was just so bad that I was like, I'm going to go back to cleaning. But this time I was like, I'm only going commercial because the houses is what I realized. This was for me. This isn't for everybody, but for me, I was like, I did a lot better with the offices. I would rather have a fewer amount of clients and a lot more revenue per client. And it was also stable. And thank goodness it was, because COVID came around the next year.
Oh my God.
Whacked. Yeah.
Exactly. And I actually went through the same thing. My first cleaning company was named Georgia's Heavenly Cleaners. And I think in the first year, I probably did like 70,000 in the very first year. And as soon as it went up, it went crashing down because like I wasn't pricing right. All of the stuff that we teach now, I wasn't pricing right. I was overpaying people. I was dealing with the emotions of all of these, employees and me being a new business owner, fresh, not knowing how to deal with everything. I don't even talk about systems. None of that. Only thing I knew how to do was win clients and get people to clean. And I started off with me and my kids out there cleaning. And then they got tired. They were like, listen, Mom, this cleaning stuff, I'm not cleaning every day. I'm tired. So one day they left me doing all these houses by myself, and I was pissed.
Ooh, yeah.
I was pissed. So that is what lit the fire underneath me to start hiring. Because I was scared to hire at first because I had my teenagers. So I'm like, y'all just gonna help me work. But when they backed out, it was just me with all of this work. So that was like pushed me to just go out there. So now I got to be a CEO. I got to clean. I got to train. I got to do the marketing. I got to find clients. It was overwhelming, right? And then building a team. I started building the team up. I really couldn't afford to pay the payroll because people start paying me late. So now you're dealing with the apartment complexes not paying you on the net 30, they're paying on like a net 60. Now you got these people, they want their money, and I don't have the money. And I started taking these loans, these little shark loans, and those like the worst loans in the world.
Yeah, there's called shark for a reason.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, I'm a new business owner, and here goes the shark guy saying, you're having problems, you can't make your payroll. I'll give you $10,000. I'll give it to you. You'll have it in your bank account tomorrow. I'm like, really?
Forget the 30% of the back.
All green. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that was a learning experience for me. And I had to end up shutting my business down, and I tell the story all the time. And I like to be transparent and tell these stories because I know there's business owners out there that are thinking about quitting, giving up, but you hear me, you hear Matt, we went through it. We actually gave up and came back to this wonderful industry.
Absolutely.
So it's golden. This industry is golden. It is. But
I had another mentor tell me this. There are broke people, hundredaires, millionaires, and billionaires in every single industry.
Yes.
Including cleaning. So there is a way.
Yes.
There is a pattern. There are systems. It's not that it's a bad industry. It's not that your market is too hard or that there's too much competition. There are people at all stratus levels in the industry. So there is a way to do it. It is possible. That's the big thing is you just got to, as a coach, right? You got to help them believe it's possible. Because a lot of them just need to fight that mental fight and just commit to, I'm going to see it through.
Yeah. And never make decisions when you are emotional, when you're upset.
Yes.
That's been my biggest lesson throughout the years, because I was the queen of making decisions when I am at a 10. And then she's like, no, we are not going to agree to anything until we're going to wait 2 more days. Let's wait. Then we'll agree. You're not going to feel the same way in the next 2 days.
Yes.
That's hard.
Man, so okay, two things, and I we definitely want to respect you. I'm having too much fun.
We're gonna wrap it up. It's 4 o'clock.
Just 2 things. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to speak on is delayed gratification and instant gratification, right? Just when it comes to entrepreneurship, because you never lost faith, right? With you know, things not going right the first time, and then you having to come back. So it's like with Miss Johnson, with her saying, this is what we struggle with just a lot of people that come into the community. They're watching YouTube University, and a lot of people are not saying the non-sexy work, right? They're making it look like there's going to be this instant gratification of all you have to do is just get the clients and get that money. You're going to be a millionaire. They don't talk about all the stuff behind the scenes that you have to do that, you know, makes you successful. So me saying all of that, I just had a question for you. What defines a successful company, a successful cleaning business to you?
So the concepts and the systems are easy, but the doing it is hard. As far as defining like why some work and why some don't, it's the hard work of consistently doing those systems and processes when your emotions are all over the place, when you don't feel like it today. I think though too, as I think about it, the ones who out of my students, and even like reflecting back, you know, on when we got started and before even then, I always had mentors. I bought tons of books. At one point, I went through this huge, like, I'm reading every business book, leadership book I could ever find phase in my life. I went to conferences. There's people that just want to learn, and just like talking about where you just kind of got to overkill it a little bit. You know, they're like, don't try to learn what you need to know. Learn more than you need to know. I remember a speaker talking one time. He said before he gets up and does a talk, he recommends that you know 10 times more than what you're going to talk about. So same in any sort of action type career like this. Like, you need to be over prepared. Now, you don't need to be prepared going into it. It's just you need to learn. Just pursue whatever knowledge you can find. Right? Because it's all going to come to bear here in this industry, whether it's leadership, marketing skills, sales skills, people skills, soft skills, hard skills, you know, math, the English, the basics, right? Like, you need to pursue learning. And I think that's what's going to define, you know, those who make it and those who don't. Because those who keep learning, they're going to keep finding solutions.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it.
Your mind is a sponge. You have to continuously learn. You can't just think you got it. And then, I mean, especially with AI being here, like, I have seen AI work wonders within the last 6 months. It's like new stuff keeps coming out and I'm blown away. And it's like, if we don't grab a hold of this and figure it out and see how it can benefit our businesses, we're gonna get left behind. You know, we're gonna be looking like blockbusters, right?
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I remember that.
All right. So this is the last one.
Oh, you got something else? I want to say something else.
It's okay. I'm good. You're good.
We're fighting over you, Matt.
It's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna say this, then you can say that we can end it. But my last thing is I'm gonna give you a quote. Right. And I want you to tell me what comes to mind and what message you can give the audience. And then Ms. Johnson can close it out and they can know how to find you. But I'm going to give you a quote. Once I give you this quote, I want you to tell the audience what it means to you and how can you interpret this message to the audience and give them a message, okay, from that quote.
Goodness, that's a lot of pressure.
You can come up with some new stuff, girl.
You got this.
This is new.
Oh, goodness. The background even changed too. What on earth?
All right. Okay. So my saying that I always tell people, right, inside of our community, do not ask for the anointing if you're not prepared for the assignment. So what does that mean to you?
It makes me immediately think, I forgot who I heard say it, but he said, be careful when you ask for patience or pray for patience, right? God's going to give you a very difficult situation to answer your prayer, and you're going to develop patience. And, you know, this actually happened with us this year a little bit, actually a few months ago. So we actually paused and this will apply to your audience, we paused our franchise marketing a few years back because we had to change the brand. We ran into some legal stuff. So we had to change our brand. Lots of fun. So we started it back this year, and it was starting to kind of pick up. And I was like, you know, Lord, you know, like, do you want this to work or not? You know, please send it, and I'll just do it. I know, like, we don't have to, like, you're still going to heaven, right? We can be broken in heaven. It's fine. But I was like, Lord, just if you're willing, please send it. I know you can. Well, he sent it. And then I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do with my time? So we went through with this phase recently, a few months ago, where I was so busy. It was brutal. And there was a part of me that was like, Lord, take it away.
Wow.
It was a rough month not too long ago between the franchise stuff and the coaching stuff and our local stuff. And then what was interesting is we got a massive opportunity inside of our local business. And I learned to take it to God first. I think that David, you think of him, right? Like, he goes to battle against the Philistines, right? And he still goes to God first every time, even though he has, you know, God behind him. He's like, Lord, like, should I do it? And God tells him one time, like, wait till you hear me marching through the trees, right? And you're like, that's kind of weird, but David did. He waited, you know, on the Lord. And so I had this huge opportunity, massive, like, I can't explain how huge it was. And I was like, Lord, if you want us to have it, like, in the midst of all this stuff, like, if you want us to have it, you know, let it be. If not, let me know. Next day, we didn't get it. And it was for some wild reason, you know, and I was like, you know, I was so at peace. I was so at peace about it. And so I think God, as long as he gets the glory, he is more than willing to hear you out, at least. Sometimes he does answer. It's just, I don't know if I have a really solid, like, response to that, like asking for it or are you ready for it? But that's just my story on it. And it's just, he can do it. So don't doubt him. But at the same time, he can overload you. Someone else said this. He said, sometimes God withholds in love and gives in judgment.
Ooh, that's powerful. That's powerful, because
it taught me a lesson. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. And you know, just to piggyback off of that, and then you can go. I'm so sorry. No, you're fine. But I don't know why, something just told me to ask him that. But I honestly believe everything that you're saying, because it's just like when your walk, and I'm not trying to convert anybody, so I'm sorry, you guys, I'm just talking because I understand where I came from. I know that just with everything that has happened, it's just good to see a fellow fellowshipper, you know, just on, you know, online right now. Right. But with you saying that, it just means a lot. Right. If you just take time out and just realize your situation is not changing because you have not changed. People pray so much for their situation to change, but they're not changing. And they don't understand that you're praying to God, but he's waiting on you. You're waiting on God, but he's waiting on you. Right. So why don't you just change the situation that you're going through, and then he'll be able to put you in a better predicament, you know? And then you have to have the faith the size of a mustard seed. Now, I actually seen a mustard seed, and I seen how small that is. And if you could just have enough faith, you know, to be able to understand that what you're going through, it's about the journey, not the destination, that everything else makes sense. So I love that you said that, and that struck a nerve in me. So I really appreciate that.
That was beautiful. So you could go ahead.
All right.
So it wasn't a bad nerve.
No, it was a very good nerve. Like, it was a very good nerve, because that's what I talk to people about all the time. You know, just know what you're praying for, man. Just know what you're praying for, and
be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, because it's like people want to make 6 and 7 figures, but they don't want to do the work that comes.
They don't know
what
they don't know the stress level. I didn't know the stress level that came with multiple 6 figures until I had to pay this $20,000 payroll, and I was just like ask her. I couldn't sleep at night.
Jeez.
I'm thinking, I'm just all sorts of thoughts in my head. I got anxiety.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to that client. Can you talk to her tomorrow? I don't want to talk to her either. Like, oh my God, like, oh, we got to talk to. We have to talk to her. We got to explain why they didn't show last night.
Yes, Lord.
Like it was hard. It was really hard. But we were able, when we got over it, I remember it just feeling like a relief, you know, when we got over the hard part, you know what I'm saying? So be careful what you ask for, because I was always praying for the accounts. I always wanted the money, right? But be careful what you ask for, because he'll bless you. He'll give you, come on. He was blessing us, giving us all the accounts, you know, but it's a lot that comes with that. So, last but not least,
there you go.
Tell everybody where they can find you. But first of all, what would you say to the people that are just starting out and they want to start a cleaning business? Like, give some advice on that. People always want to know, should I start now? I don't know. I'm hearing all these horror stories.
Yes, I'm getting deterred from it. You know.
And then let everybody know where they can find you at in your wonderful community.
Sure. To anyone who's starting out, I think definitely go back to the comment earlier about there's broke people, hundredaires, millionaires, billionaires in the industry. And there's always people that, like you said, you called people in Atlanta, no one answered the phone. It's like there is so much mediocrity, right?
Yeah.
I would say typically you're looking at maybe like 5% of the cleaning companies out there are actually like putting in some sort of serious effort. Right. So just because you see 120 cleaning companies in your market does not mean that there are truly 120 that are really going after it.
Right.
Yeah.
So excellence will set you apart, and you just have to commit fully and not back off, at least for a year. Like you just got to dive in and do the actions. Right.
Yes. That's wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Let everybody know where they can find you at. And talk a little bit about your community.
Sure. So the YouTube channel is called Commercial Cleaning CEO. As we talked about, it is commercial specific. If you got house questions, that's not me. Not your guy on that. But buildings and big contracts and all that, yes. So you can check us out there. Everything's linked from there. As far as the community goes, we do have a school community called Commercial Cleaning Owners. And honestly, I thought it was funny when you reached out to me through it, because I honestly I'm not really involved really much in that. I just kind of set it up and just was like, we'll just let people collect here over time.
Really?
I don't do anything in there except I'll like post a video whenever I release a YouTube video. But we do use the school platform for our Janitorial Millionaire Blueprint. So that one is where I do all the coaching and I'm highly involved. And
got you.
Yeah.
And what's the price point on that one, in case anybody wants to know?
Oh goodness. It depends on what you're looking at. It depends.
It depends. Okay, you want them to book?
I'll say they're looking at least $5,000.
Gotcha. Just be upfront, because I would hate for you to do a discovery call and be on the call for an hour for someone to tell you they got to speak to their husband about it, or they got to talk to their wife about it,
or they got to pray to God about it,
or they got to pray to Jesus on it real quick, Just be honest.
Never come back. Yep.
I've learned to just, hey, listen, it's $5,000. What you want to do? Just be honest. Just be upfront.
How do we get through this whole podcast and we didn't even talk about your calculator? I just thought about that.
Yeah, you got a whole digital calculator.
Oh my gosh, y'all need to go check Matt out. He has everything laid out with a blueprint when it comes to commercial cleaning, guys.
Yes.
Go ahead, Matt. Close us out. I'm gonna shut up now so you can go ahead. Okay.
Oh, with the calculator or with what?
Yep.
Just briefly, can you just briefly go over that real quick, and then we're gonna shut it off, okay? Because I'm like, we didn't go over the calculator. Like, I had so many questions about it.
Yeah, we checked it out. We thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
like you can actually put all your numbers in there.
I made another video on it. that actually walks through it in depth. It's on the channel.
Yeah.
If you check
There
out
you
any
go.
quote, it's
There you
there.
go. There you
Yeah,
go, guys.
yeah.
Go check it out on his channel. He made an updated video. We're not about to keep rambling because he gotta go, guys. Okay. I know y'all liking this conversation, but he gotta go, and we do too. All right.
All right. So it's been amazing. Thank you so much for spending this hour and almost 30 minutes with us. I'm sorry it wasn't supposed to be this long,
It
but
wasn't.
hey, when the conversation gets
Enjoyed it.
good,
Been
we
good.
want to keep going, right? So be prepared to see a lot of shorts going out. Okay, so free promotion for you.
Okay.
All right, you have an amazing day, Matt.
Y'all too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.